I am taking inspiration from one of my favorite content creators and I can't wait to show you who it is. Hello, my name is Shelby and I'm a potter. I found this bulk lot of slip casting molds and one by one I'm pouring them up to reveal whatever is inside and then finish it into an artwork. This is the Mystery Mold series, so let's see what's in today's episode. How are you, my lovely dovelies? Welcome to another mystery mold. This week we have a rectangular mold. It doesn't have any inscriptions on the sides. I poured it up with two little holes, tipped it out, and then it was ready to open. So let's see what was inside. Let's have a look. I don't know what I'm thinking for this one. It could be salt and pepper shakers actually. Oh my goodness. These are the sweetest little peas. Well, they're not peas, but they're the sweetest peas, if you know what I mean. There's two little cutie duckies, and to be honest, could turn these into salt and pepper shakers. I'm just going to support them so they fall out because I'm known for letting them fall out. I love them, they're so cute. And you know what? I already know what I'm going to do with these. I am not going to turn them into salt and pepper shakers. Now, the reason for that is because the bottom hole to cork that up, it's a little bit oval-like, so it's a little bit tricky to turn into salt and pepper shakers. I'd have to almost do patchwork to make it a circle so that an ordinary plug would fit into it. I actually have the cutest idea. So these are more realistic. So we've had two ducks before, but they were more kitschy, more cartoony, whereas these are more realistic. I really have wanted to do this for a very long time, but I want to make little flower hats for little tiny ducks. I think that that's what I'm going to do. So the ducks, I'm thinking I'll leave them quite simple. And you're probably thinking, why have I come up with this idea so quickly? I have wanted a realistic duck like this so that I could do the flower hat idea. I'm going to sculpt some little flower hats out of clay and pop them on top, and then keep the ducks pretty simple, but the flowers will be the colorful part. I wanted to do this because I see a lot of videos on social media, and particularly of an account that I love that's based in Australia, Mother of Mountain, and they have little ducks and they put little hats, little flower hats on them, and I've got to do it. I've got to do it. They're perfect for it. I'm gonna squeal once these are done. Anyway, let's get to it. Let's make some flower hats and finish these duckies off. Here is a look at the mold for those that want to hunt it down. It is the Coles mold. It's 849. It doesn't have ducks written on the side or anything. It just says that it was made in 1980 on one of the sides. But yeah, quite mysterious. But let's get into making these little flower hats. With the flower hats, I had two options. Both had their pros and cons. So it was either to have the hats attached or detached from the ducks. So by having them attached, it would mean that they were permanently fixed onto the duck after the kiln firing, and that would cause difficulties in trying to paint under each petal and making sure that I had really good paint coverage on the petals that were sitting on top of the head underneath. That would be really tricky to paint. The other option is to have them detached, but the difficulty with having them detached means that I have to make sure that the hats fit so perfectly so that when they're fired and they've shrunk and they've transformed, that they nestle so perfectly on the head that they don't fall off. So they each have their own pros and cons. I wanted to have interchangeable hats because I kind of wanted to make them look like they're wearing different little outfits, and I just thought that would be really cute to interchange them. I went for the detached option. It was really rubbery and sloppy using this clay because I actually used recycled slip offcuts instead of a regular hand building clay. So all those bits I trim off in the mold, and all the casts that don't work out end up in a recycle bucket, and I turn it back into clay. It never gets wasted. Now, because of this, it's actually really plastic like clay, but the reason I use this instead of a hand building clay is because I can rely on the shrinkage being somewhat the same. The reason I'm thinking about shrinkage is because shrinkage happens at each stage of the clay making process. The reason we get the pieces out of the mold and the reason why they're not stuck is because they've actually shrunk within that mold and pulled away from the surface of the mold, because as the moisture gets drawn out through the plaster, it loses a part of its volume. So each stage of the pottery process is slowly transforms into its ceramic state. It gets compressed more and more at each stage. It's a lot more complex than that, but that's just a really brief explanation. So I needed the clay hats to have the same shrinkage so that when they go through their transformation, and because they're detached, I need them to marry up
to the same shrinkage that the duck has gone through. I could have used hand building clay. I think I was just really overthinking it and really wanted this perfect fit, but I feel like hand building clay would have done the same thing. So you saw before, to make the flower hats, I created these balls of clay and sculpted petals, attached a center and a green bud on the outside. I then had some greenware ducks and sculpted the flower around the head to give it a floppy kind of shape. Because I actually used the recycled slip, it ended up being a pro because it had a lot of plasticity to it. The plasticity is what makes it that rubbery texture with less of like a grit, and I guess this kind of made it hard to work with because it was so easy to move and its form was really rubbery, but without it you would have had a lot of cracking. And so it was kind of excellent for this project in the end because I was able to bend it into shape without it cracking, or I could sculpt it around that duck head without it sort of falling apart. So the other option is if I used a different clay, it might have been too short. So the short in clay terminology is the opposite to plasticity. So this is where it cracks and breaks really easily from sculpting or moving the clay particles around. But each type of clay has their own strengths for different projects. It just depends on what your project is for. So I was a bit frustrated that it was so plastic-like, but it ended up being a pro for this project. I hope that explains why my whole process was the way it was. As for the painting, as you can see, I actually painted the ducks with an antique wash. I didn't want to add too much detail. I just wanted them to be yellow, and so that the flowers would be the colourful aspect of this piece. With the flowers, I painted them really simply. Some of them I did some nice layering of colours to get sort of like this textured look on the piece, but I didn't want them to be too realistic. I just wanted them to be a little bit of bright fun. I then glazed all of the pieces and popped them in the kiln. Because the hats are sitting on top, I wasn't sure whether to like leave the tops of the duck heads unglazed or whether to glaze them all, and same with the flower, whether to leave the part that sits on the head unglazed. But because of the way the flowers are shaped, I was thinking about firing them, and I was like, I'm gonna have to cover these in glaze and then pop them on stilts anyway. So I'd probably rather just glaze them all, pop them on a stilt, and then pop them in the kiln. They seemed to be fine, but I was really, really disappointed in the color of the ducks. Like, they were cool, but they just kind of felt a bit fake because I didn't put an undercolor. I just antiqued them, and I thought that would just be subtle enough, but it ended up being very vibrant. So I went back and made a few more ducks and did an undercolor and then put the antique over the top to make them feel a little bit softer and a bit more realistic than what just the plain antiquing did on top of the white. I still had a fair few flowers to glaze, fire and stilt in the kiln, so this actually worked out really perfectly for this week's reveal to actually have its own redemption story in the same video. Okay, it's time to open the kiln. I have my fingers crossed that the duckies look better because I improved the design, I'm hoping. And I'm hoping that the flowers haven't fallen off the stilts as well. So let's open it up. Oh wow! Those colors are so nice. I think a few flowers have actually fallen off their stilts, but let's have a closer look. I think that was the worst one. So this one was already cracked. I wanted to just fire anyway for a spare one, just for the shots, even though it's a bit of a waste, but just for the shots. But as you can see, the stilt has like, it's fallen inside the stilt there. And then that one, because that has fallen in, it has then touched the stilt on the bottom there. Yeah, I didn't really like this color because it's really patchy. No matter what I do with this color, it just kind of looks really washy like that. That is petal pink, I think, or carnation pink. That one's okay. Because I fire a bit hotter, these are meant to be used for earthenware, these little stilts, because it gets a little bit too hot, but I find that they're okay. The issue is you get these little black marks. If you put wax resist on them, it's meant to help, but because you're not gonna see underneath, I figured that it would be okay on these because they're sitting on the duck like that. That one didn't leave much residue at all. That looks really cool. Really like that one. Oh, that one was good as well. You can barely even see those marks. Oh, that was lucky. that is kiln wash. This still must have had some glaze on the bottom because it's pulled that off there. So that was very lucky. That's why you put kiln wash on, even if you don't think you need it. Oh, great. That is so cool. I love the brush strokes on these. They're looking amazing. Ooh, that one came right off. Oh wow, that one's excellent. That one's good as well. I think we just had a couple bad ones at the start. My next thing is going to be, will they fit on the heads? Have I planned this out well enough? All right. I love this pink color. So this pink is one I mixed up myself and I really love it. So delicate and nice. It's perfect for these little dainty flowers. I think I might sand those little bits off so they're not as noticeable. Oh, that one came right off. That red is so vibrant. Ooh. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Can you see how that's touching there on the base? That should not be doing that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this off or if it's fused together. We'll have a go. It's fallen off as it shrunk in the kiln. Ooh, it came off okay. Ooh. I was getting nervous. I was so worried I lost that one. This is also a new orange color I've mixed up. It's really lovely. It's like a papaya. That one was so close to touching. Oh no, this one fell off as well. These were such awkward shapes. Like, I knew this was gonna happen. This was my favorite one too. I thought it was gonna stay on there, but oh, it came off fine. I feel like it comes off better from the base of the stilt than the actual stilt legs. I love this gradient so much. Oh, this one's not even on the stilts anymore. That's so silly. You can see how it was on the stilts and it's just shrunk as it's transformed. I just thought it would be enough, but obviously isn't. Not bad. Not the best. It's a shame that this yellow, I probably should have put this yellow on the outside like here because that's so striking. This is another fave. This 5 petal one with that petal, oh, petal pink. I'm very happy with that. The mistakes were expected because I knew that that was going to happen. I thought they were on the other side, but they're here. Oh my gosh, I packed it last night and I've already forgotten where I've placed everything. They look so much better. I am so in love with those. Oh wow. I love this colorway the best, I think. The darker one's nice too. Oh, I love them. They're so cute. Okay, I can't help myself. I can't help myself. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. Oh my gosh. Oh, stop. Oh my gosh. I need to get these out. I need to get these out. This is too exciting. Oh my gosh, they look so good. Oh, they're so cute. I cannot. Oh, I'm really proud of these. Oh, you got a little friend. Ow. Why are you so hot for? These little duckies turned out so very cute. I am very, very impressed. They turned out better than I thought. They just have so much whimsy, color, and they're just so striking. I love that the duck is realistic looking, but I also love the playfulness of the flowers that sort of bring it into this like cartoony aspect as well. But yeah, I'm so happy with how the little hats fit. I feel like just for like longevity, I'd probably put like a little bit of blue tack underneath them just because they are a little bit precarious on some of them. Because there's 2 types of ducks in this set, one with the head up and one with the head down, I shaped each flower to the different size heads. Depending on which flower you put on which head, it actually isn't super interchangeable because some suit the up head, some suit the down head. So that's fine. It works out. You've just got to have a bit of a fiddle to figure out which one goes with what. I am so happy that this week I actually had time to redo this mold because going back and doing the undercolor before the antiquing just made them look so much better, so much more colorful. I do love the antiquing ones by themselves. They still feel soft and airy, but they just look how I wanted them to look, and it just was so worth it. And I also got a lot more colors of the flowers through the kiln as well. I really love them. I would love to know what you think of these pieces. I think you could do other little hats as well and other little amendments to these guys, but I'm just so impressed that the vision I had in my head has come to life with these pieces. Thank you so much again for watching another one of my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me so much. And here is your sneak peek for the next reveal.